I'm Sam Rose, and you're tuning in to Commerce is Chaos, the podcast for consumer brand founders who know that building a business is messier than the highlight reel shows. Your supplier just missed their deadline, your top product is out of stock, and your competitor somehow launched the same thing at half the price. Sound familiar? Every week, we dive into the real problems that keep founders up at night, from inventory disasters to supply chain nightmares, because surviving the chaos is what separates brands that fail from brands that scale. Today, I'm talking to Ted Repic, the CEO who joined his son's startup, growing it from an idea and a pickup truck to a 9-figure adventure gear brand. Now they're building a massive campus in Texas to make sure they never run out of things to test. You did the nicest thing for your family. Your son started something and you're helping him build it. And I always say, the thing that lets you start something is not always the thing that helps you finish it. Not that you're in finishing mode by a long shot, but it is such a different process to come up with an idea than it is to sort of live through the process of building the business and operationalizing and running it. So I'd love to hear the beginning of the story of you seeing your son with an idea and a problem and inspired, and how you jumped in to help him actually make it work.
Okay. Yeah. The origin story of our brand is pretty interesting. So, my 19-year-old son, Cameron, well, first of all, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So lifelong entrepreneur. I had a real job for maybe 2 years, as a 19 to maybe 21 years old. And then I started my first business at 21. So the boys were raised in a entrepreneurial household. They were picking up dog poop in the neighborhood, creating jobs in the summer. They never really went out and got jobs either. They just kind of did they found ways to make money. So Cameron, he's 19, graduated high school. He's out there, he rides motorcycles. He's got a diesel truck. He likes to work on stuff. And I'm building a few different businesses. He's got some pressure. He's got a high school sweetheart. They were together for quite a while, and she gets pregnant. And so now 19 years old, you got a lot of stress in your life. Yeah. And, I'm not the kind of dad that says, good, you made a mistake, I'm going to take care of you. I'm the kind of dad that says, pressure makes diamonds. Get out and figure out how you're going to support a family. So Cameron, I couldn't be more proud of both of my sons, but especially this story is touching. It's moving for me because, I basically, I told him to leave. I said, go figure it out. Like I'm not, you got yourself in this position, go figure it out. You want to be a man? Time to be a man. This is how you learn it. Yeah. And he went out and did some training, called Amazing Selling Machine Training. It was about learning how to sell on Amazon. And he just launched what he knew. And he was riding motorcycles, dirt bikes at the time. He had some expensive handlebars, was tired of putting the metal hooks on the bars, created this little product called a soft loop. And everybody knows what it is today, but back then it was unique. It's just a piece of polyester webbing with 2 loops on the end to create a soft tie down point so you don't scratch up your nice, expensive motorcycle part. So he created that, instantly was an instant success, started working. His brother, 17, Dylan at the time, is an opportunist. He saw Cameron's got something good going on.
Yeah,
he had
Cameron's making money.
Right. And that looks like fun. I want to get in the motorcycle bit. They both love motorcycles and boats and trucks and stuff. So Dylan jumps in with them. So the 2 boys were off and running by themselves literally without any help from me.
Wow. Okay. And then when did you feel like, so it sounds like part of the, part of the framework is these guys got to go learn, and they maybe have to go through some hard stuff to learn the hard way, like the world is calling. When did it feel right for you coming from that place to say, well, now you've learned enough that I can come help you?
Well, it wasn't even like that. I mean, to stick with the name of the show here, Commerce is Chaos. It was chaos. I mean, so the kids got up and running, early. The Rhino USA was founded in 2026. The point of time I'm talking about is mid 2016. The time I'm talking about is mid 2015. So they started a different business called Gorilla Moto Gear. That was the first iteration of Rhino USA. We'll get to the chaos part.
I'm detecting.
Well, the chaos kicks in about December. So they do pretty good through the beginning of the year. They start getting some money in. They expand to a couple more products, and I couldn't be prouder. I am helping a bit in the background with marketing help. Like, hey, what do you need? Hey, Dad, what do you think of this? And I give them help on marketing. I'm doing marketing my own businesses. But I'm not materially involved. December 5th, they had raised $40,000 over the course of the year. They had saved. They had all their Q4 inventory in place in Amazon. December 5th, they get hit with a trademark infringement on Amazon from a company called Gorilla Automotive, and they lock up all their inventory and they're out of business. So
Oh no.
that was it. It started, it ended, it was over in a matter of 6 months.
Did they return the inventory?
Well, the inventory gets locked up in Amazon, and then you have to resolve the issue with the trademark holder to get the inventory released. So now the boys don't know what to do. All their inventory is locked up. They have no money. They basically have no business. They came and asked me what we should do. I said, let's communicate. Like the number one thing, call the guy that's complaining and find out what the problem is. So we got on a call, the three of us with the trademark holder. He's a very reasonable gentleman. He said, I own a company called Gorilla Automotive. You guys have a company called Gorilla Moto Gear. You launched a tool. It was actually a tire gauge that was like one of the third products they launched. You're infringing, and we're not going to let you do that. And I said, look, these two little boys here, man. Literally, they're 19 and 17. Would you let them sell through their inventory if they paid you some kind of a royalty? So we agreed to like a 7% royalty. They sold through, by February, they were out of business. And so this is where the Rhino USA story starts. And so, late January, February 2016, they're out of business. The inventory sold. They got a couple bucks, but basically it's over. And I'm like, okay, go get jobs. Like it's over. And they're like, no way. Like we got the taste of entrepreneur.
Right.
We want more. Like we want more. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm a private pilot. I had an airplane. We had a little vacation home with a boat, and we'd go ride out in Parker, Arizona. We'd fly out there and go boating and jet skis and motorcycles. And so we flew out to the river, the three of us, for the weekend. We sat around talking about the future, and a bonfire and some stars, and talking about it. We came up with Rhino USA.
Animal?
It was like Gorilla was tough. What's something that conveys, everything we wanted to do, we wanted it to be bigger and badder than the competitors. So it was like Rhino was it was much better than Gorilla, right? Yeah. So it was a blessing in disguise.
Wow, what a story.
I don't think I've ever told that part of it, honestly, Samantha. Usually we jump right into the Rhino USA story, but that's the precursor to Rhino USA.
I love that. No, that's so great. And it's so interesting how, so I come back to this idea of sort of the best day ever and the worst day ever is a paradigm that I've relived over and over again. Something great happens, right? Like you get $40,000, you buy a bunch of inventory, you're ready to sell on Amazon. That's like the best day ever, especially if you're like, a teenage entrepreneur. You're like, we are in business. And the worst day ever is like always close behind. And I was going to ask you like what the worst day ever was for your story, but you told it like unprompted, which is great.
Oh, that's not the worst day ever.
Even better. Let's just go into it. Okay. What was the worst day ever? What's worse? I gotta know.
We got sued again. So this one was serious. So we named the company. Original name for the first month or so in 2016 was Rhino Straps. And then we realized that we had vision to go much wider than that. And so we fumbled around with a few variations. We weren't sure, we weren't quite ready for we had to explain what we do. Is we're trying, and as we look at the Amazon platform back then, there's a ton of international competition coming in. And so we wanted to use the word USA because it conveyed we were American sellers. We felt like that was an advantage for us. And so we named the company Rhino USA. Well, part of our marketing, our phrases on Amazon, our titles and things would be Rhino USA, ratchet straps, and if you reverse engineer that, we would show up for made in USA ratchet straps. because the word USA was in our brand name. Well, we got sued by a competitor. We were taking market share from him. We got sued by him for unfair competition because we were saying our products were made in the USA. And we weren't really saying that. We were saying we were a USA based company. So, but, lawyers will take, most of your money. So that lasted 18 months and cost us $600,000. We were bankrupt every month for 18 months. It was waiting for the Amazon payments to come in so we could pay the lawyers, so we could do the next deposition or the next discovery. Literally 18 months of every 2 weeks getting our Amazon check and just sending it to the lawyers. That is real chaos. So we won. So again, another blessing in disguise. So like, worst day, best day, compilation keeps going. This guy, he almost ran us out of business. It turned out that we were able to survive longer than him. We turned the corner. We started winning the case, and then we pivoted on him with a countersuit where we wanted a reimbursement of our lawyer's fees, and he was forced to file for bankruptcy. He was the number one competitor in our space. As soon as he went down, we immediately took all of his market share. So our business went from small fledgling to immediately grown up and in the number one spot on Amazon for these power sports.
Wow. Talk about tactics. I mean, and not that you were even trying, but
no,
like, I definitely am glad that we're friends. And
well, that's just perseverance, right? So,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I say I couldn't be more proud of my sons. Imagine these two young boys now this is just another year in. So you got an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old. They've already been attacked by lawyers twice. They've been almost put out of business twice in their first, call it 18 to 24 months in business. So if that doesn't scare you away from entrepreneurship, I don't know what would, but they stuck in there.
Yeah. Well, diamonds, right?
That's it.
Talk about pressure cooker and life lessons. And so I was talking to my husband the other day, but my husband's my business partner. So we're always talking about some work.
I love family business.
Love family business. I grew up in a really entrepreneurial household. My dad was an entrepreneur, and his dad before him, and it's like 5 generations or something like that. So it dies hard. and Brian and I were talking, and it was just a tough week a couple of weeks ago. It just felt like we kept getting punched in the face. And I said, if someone comes out of nowhere and punches you in the face once, it's like really surprising and it hurts. But you're not walking down the street right now. You are in like the ring, and you have to expect that someone is going to punch you. And like, if you sign up to be a boxer, then getting punched 100 times is like just part of the work. And so just know that like, that's business, is like, you're actually signing up to be in a boxing ring, and you are going to get punched in the face 100 times, but that's your game that you're playing. Yes. So you can't be upset in the same way that it would be if someone like walked through a doorway and like called off.
Of course.
And, I felt like that was a comforting analogy, just to know that, like,
it's a good one. It's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's pretty accurate.
It's accurate. Yeah. Yeah. My dad always used to say business is war, and I was like, I don't get that. It's so different. Like, oh no.
It can be. I mean, it certainly can be. I mean, it can be tough, but it can be, I think it's always, the turn is always right around the corner. When we feel like I used to have this old adage about golf. When things are bad at work and, I keep focusing and I'm stressing and I'm pushing and pushing and it feels like nothing's moving, I would just go play golf and just getting away from it, getting out of the office, taking your eyes off of it for a minute. It seems like things turned around. Like just when you stop pushing, it feels like, the light at the end of the tunnel kind of story. It's always there. Maybe that's it's kind of the analogy of your good day, bad day. The good day is always right around the corner if you can persevere through the punches in the face.
Yeah. And, maybe sidestep a few of them. You gotta be light on your feet. Now we're dancing.
That's ideal for sure.
Okay. Let's talk about some good things. Let's talk about some happy things for a second.
Good. Yes.
I'd love to hear the story of just the product line itself. It starts with this first strap, and then you're expanding. How are you making those decisions? And are you reverse engineering from opportunities that you're seeing on Amazon, or how do you know when an idea is sort of like good enough that it's worth investing more money into?
There's today we have a lot of tools with AI and things. It's making it easier and harder because it's leveling the playing field. Now we all have the same tools. There are very few competitive advantages. Everybody can create great content. I mean, I think we could talk about that at another point. It feels like everything is noise, but back in the beginning, I think we were running kind of a twofold strategy. My son Dylan was our NPD specialist. So he would develop the new products specifically for Amazon. So we started out as an Amazon only business. But early on, I knew that I wanted to own the customer. And so that was a realization that maybe my 20, 30 years in business were helpful to understand that we were borrowing customers from Amazon, and that's not a real business. That's a temporary business. So we made a concerted effort. We used to say, we wanted to build a brand. And so at the time, there was a lot of opportunity everywhere on Amazon. We could have sold RFID sleeves and insulated cups, and we could have done all that. And we called it Joe's Warehouse Deals. We did not want to be a Joe's Warehouse Deals. We wanted to build a real brand with a story. We wanted it to be about family, all the things that were important to us. We're a big Italian family. We have dinner as a family every Sunday. We hug and kiss each other. We say, I love you. We believe in family values. And so we thought business needed more of that. It really felt like that at the time. And so we would innovate products for Amazon, but we were on a mission to stay within our brand guidelines of who we were and what we believed. And we developed products and what we used. So that's how we would look at Amazon, but we're going out every weekend, boating, trucks, motorcycles, airplanes. I mean, we were doing everything at the time, hiking. We're going rock climbing in Joshua Tree National Park. And as you go out and adventure and you do those things, you find needs. Yeah. So that we developed the products based on stuff we were using in the real world.
And you're kind of doubling down on that. Now, I want to talk about community, and maybe as a way to get into that, let's talk about RhinoWorld, because you're actually like building this like live test environment, your own massive petri dish for all
Exactly.
of this. And I want to come adventure. Cards on the table. Your tech stack is held together with duct tape and prayers. If you're a brand founder or COO juggling Shopify, your 3PL portal, 3 different inventory trackers, and yes, that one crucial Google Sheet, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Orders get lost, inventory counts are fiction, and your seamless integrations break every other Tuesday. Endless Commerce changes the game. One platform for everything. DTC, wholesale, marketplaces, the works. AI-powered forecasting, real-time inventory visibility, and integrations that actually integrate. Teams like Great Jones, Food 52, and Pattern Brands already made the switch. Ready to ditch the chaos? Visit endlesscommerce.com, mention Commerce is Chaos when you reach out, and get 3 months free. Because your ops stack should be your competitive advantage, not your biggest headache.
Yeah, we would love to have you. I mean, currently it's not open to the public. It's by invitation only. You certainly have an invitation if you ever come to Austin. Where are you at? I don't know where you're at in the country.
I'm in LA, but I love Austin, and it's a 30-hour drive away.
Well, even less than that. It's only like a 2.5-hour flight, so really close.
Yeah, I can do better.
So we're from Southern California. So I was born in Anaheim. My boys were actually born in Arizona, but we started the business in Murrieta, Temecula area. And so, out there in that area, there's a lot of public BLM land. And on the border of California and Arizona, we spent a lot of time on BLM land, which is public land. You can camp, you can shoot guns, you can do off-roading, you can be free. And that's how my boys were raised. And we love Texas. We love Austin. When we moved here, but one of the things we found was more private land than public. And we were looking for a place to do the things that we had always done. That was our secret sauce, like where we developed our products, was being out in the real world and breaking competitor stuff and realizing how to make it better. And, we didn't have that in Texas. We were looking, we went out to Big Bend, we're out in Galveston, and there's some amazing places. You could drive your truck on the beach for 65, 70 miles down at Padre Seashore. I mean, there's some amazing advantages, but just land. I don't care if it's public or not, but land that we can go play on and do stuff. So that's where the idea came from. We were missing it so much. I even put a campfire room in our office. And so we put a fake LED campfire and some chairs and we blacked it out. We put no cell phones on the door. It didn't work. We thought we could innovate that way. It didn't work.
You're missing the live smoke and sparks or
stars. I mean, we had all the fake stuff, but it wasn't the same, obviously. So, that's probably the biggest risk I've ever taken in my career, to be honest. We have a products business going very well. And I just show up one day and I'm like, I want to buy this massive ranch and build something. I don't really know what it is exactly, but just trust me. So our board trusted me with the idea, which was amazing. I honestly didn't think they'd approve it. And it's gone through a few iterations. We started out with the idea that it would be an off-road park. Then we went to tours, and now really what it's always meant to be is the physical embodiment of the brand. It's everything tied into one. It's where we develop the products. It's where we test them in the real world, where we demonstrate them, live on camera, where we shoot content. We bring people there and educate them. We had all of our TikTok creator friends out there for a community event. It's our spot. It's our magical place now, and it's evolving every day.
Well, and to your point, it's a content factory, and that's a prerequisite for being an established brand these days. Is you think the job is. I always say this. You think the job is like storytelling and product development, and it's videography and editing. Placement and paid media and partnerships and so I really admire how much you guys have committed to that as kind of just part of the community enrichment and the growth motion. And it sounds like it's a very cool place to be and is serving a community need as much as it is helping you also, have a channel to share the brand story in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we don't. What we say a lot is we don't cater to the 3% of the population who are expert outdoor adventure off-road people. It's like we really want to unlock that 97% people. I think everybody wants to adventure. Everybody wants excitement in their life, but they're afraid. And so really, after talking to, we go to 40 plus live events every year. We meet face to face with our customers. We do customer surveys. We do outreach and focus groups. It's really our competitive advantage to stay very close to our customers and build that community and know what they want, what they like, what they don't want. And so, understanding that what our customers want is confidence. What Rhino USA sells is confidence. We don't sell toe straps and kinetic ropes and D-rings and, ratchet straps. We sell confidence. And, through our in-house influencers, guys like Wes Wilson and Brad Evans and Lawrence and JJ and all these guys that we have that are out there living the lifestyle, we educate, right? So, we're giving people, like, our magic equation, we say, is competence, which is education, plus preparedness, which is the gear, equals confidence. And confidence gives you the ability to worry less and adventure more. And that's our motto at Rhino USA.
That's a good equation. And you're backing it up too with a lifetime guarantee, which I've lived in the world of lifetime guarantees. It's hard, but it's also confidence. You're like, this is so good that if anything goes wrong, we're just going to send you another one, no questions asked. And it comes with a lot of operational commitment, I've found, and it comes with a lot of product development commitment, because you have to make sure that the products themselves, before you commit to buying 5 or 10,000 of them, are going to be good enough to stand up to that promise. So I'm kind of curious, how have you kind of navigated that piece of it, of making sure that the products themselves can withstand that level of marketplace confidence that you're kind of imbuing into them?
We've certainly not launched every product we wanted to because of the risk, right? So, some of our products, we launched a dual air compressor this year, and that is a highly complex piece of electronic tech, the kind of product you would never give a lifetime warranty on. We spent I over 2 years developing the product. I mean, it had to be perfect. We could be in serious trouble here. So, but we don't view a warranty as like a legal document. For us, it's a responsibility strategy. We're making commitments to our community. We're not trying to sell somebody something and never know them again. We want to build a community and have people for life. And we're doing a pretty good job of that. The warranty just is an easy way for us to say, this is how confident we are in the products we develop. And seriously, if you have any problem as for you own it for life, we got your back. It's back for
Yeah,
life.
I really like that. How does that quality guarantee and that confidence guarantee change from channel to channel that you're in? And I'll give you a couple of examples. Like, so you're an AutoZone now, but then you're also selling online. You're selling direct to consumer. You 100% own the customer relationship. Something goes wrong, they've got their order notification from you. They get right into your customer service flow, and it's easy peasy. When Sam's Club or AutoZone buys from you and your product has a lifetime guarantee, how do you kind of manage what is now sort of like a triangle shaped relationship where you have a shared end customer, but they've completed the initial sale?
Well, two things. One is inside the product box, we have warranty registration information. So we hope that anybody, regardless of where you buy the product, you have information and you know that you have a warranty. With our retail partners, we stand behind our product no matter who has it. If they take a bunch of returns, which we do business with Sam's Club, AutoZone, Walmart, Costco, including Canada and Mexico retail locations. So any of those retailers have a problem with our product, we stand behind it for them. If their
Yeah.
customers have a problem with it, we stand behind it for them. To be honest, Samantha, I don't really care. This is maybe going a little bit overboard, but if you call us and you send us a picture of a Rhino product that you have and you have a problem with it, I really don't care where you got it. I'm going to stand behind it.
Yeah, that's the right attitude. And to your point, like, you can't, I'm just going to keep driving on confidence. Like, you kind of can't replicate that from anywhere else. You can't materialize it. It's earned, right? And like, building that customer loyalty over years and building the confidence that they'll have in your product are the things that make like community virality work and make the recurring kind of economics of a customer coming back and telling all of their friends about it and all of the word of mouth stuff. So I think it really is one of those kind of underappreciated investments that you can do in the brand itself. Like, it is a
Right.
product guarantee, but it's also a brand guarantee. I've seen certain operators look at the potential cost or the napkin math of what it would be to support a lifetime guarantee and go, "Oh no, that's too expensive for us." And I'm like, "But wait, what's the cost of you losing the customer?
Right.
And what's the cost of you losing all of the times that they're going to tell their friends the incredible story of your customer service and how like great they were and how easy they made it and how nice they were and all of that stuff."
Exactly. Yeah.
It's actually
It's
one
more
of the
like
lower cost things that you can do to
for
like,
sure. Yeah.
manifest loyalty. And
If you do
um,
it right,
yeah,
if you do it right and you have confidence in your product.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of different, I don't know. I spent my life building technical stacks for my own brands to work on. Right. And like the early days, it was always, well, what are the point solutions that I'm going to assemble? What am I going to buy to kind of enrich the customer journey and help with attribution and help me get into stores and help me operate in a less chaotic way? And eventually I turned around to like, well, I'm going to build a lot of that for myself. And that's my new life's work. And, I found myself being sold to so many times by loyalty programs that are, they wanted like $8,000 or $10,000 a month for
Right.
like loyalty hacks. I was like, but
Yeah.
I have the best loyalty hack of all time, and it's like pretty free for me to communicate about, and it's not totally free for me to support. But at the end of the day, something as simple and maybe like not obvious though as a lifetime guarantee can like way outpace the loyalty kind of boost that you might get from like spending a lot of money on one of those other platforms.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Um, yeah, the warranty was a no-brainer for us. I mean, especially in the world of social, And we didn't start out with a lifetime warranty. What happened was you sell a few products, you get a couple people complaining, but you're going to have people that are not going to be happy. And they would call, and the question would be, if you don't make this person happy, what are they going to do? They're going to go out on socials and they're going to blast you. And everybody, it's weird. It gets into like a feeding frenzy on these social channels, right? Like, Rhino, I bought this product and it didn't work. And I called them and they said my warranty had expired. And then there's 1,000 comments about how the product is trash, the brand is trash. And we just, we learned that very early. It was like, people spend hard-earned money. There's lots of options out there to purchase. They make a choice to do business with our family, and we're going to take care of them. It's just the right thing to do, regardless of warranty. If we didn't have a lifetime warranty formally, we would still honor it. So we might as well use it as marketing juice.
Right. Exactly that. Let's talk about social selling for a minute. You were really early on TikTok Shop. Maybe one of the earliest, actually. How has that worked for you? What's been difficult about it? What are maybe like some tips or tricks that you can share with us that are, like if someone's considering kind of going into this, what should they know, or what are sort of like some of your hard-won, lessons that you might share with a friend who's on the fence or trying to get into that decision?
Well, one of the things, first of all, how we got on TikTok Shop so early, my son Dylan, who was the 17-year-old, the younger kid, called me on a Saturday night, somewhere mid-September, August 23. And he's like, hey, TikTok has a shop. And I go, I know what TikTok is, but I don't really, and he goes, we ought to open a TikTok shop. And I was naive. I didn't know all I knew about TikTok was teenage girls were dancing on this thing, and it was a software. I didn't know. And I said, well, we don't sell to 12-year-old girls. Like, why would we be on TikTok Shop? And he said, listen, old man, you don't know what you're talking about. Just trust me. And I'm like, fine, do it. So what could it hurt? My brother, Ray, who's our COO, called me about 8 days later and said, what the heck did you guys do? And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I don't know what's happening because TikTok inventory runs through Shopify. He's like, you just went through like 4 months of inventory in the last week. And I'm like, I had no idea it was happening. Nobody was tracking it. Like, we just didn't have eyes on it. I don't know why, but it blew up in our face. And then we had no idea that this was even happening. One of the creators, when we launched on the site, one of the creators had already had our products, and he just started shooting videos and they went viral. We didn't send them samples. We didn't do anything. It just happened. So that was pretty lucky.
Wow. And then, okay,
that was a good start.
Good start. Yeah. So, okay. So your brother restocks inventory really fast.
Yes.
How do you manage demand planning and forecasting now in a world where things like that can kind of have these massive swings overnight?
Impossible. I'll just tell you right now, it's impossible to forecast for virality. We've spent now years working on this math and how it's impossible. We can't do it. If you bounce into our store, couple times a month, you will see a lot of products out of stock. It's just a cost of doing business for us. It's a Cadillac problem, we call it, right? So it's a problem, but the demand is high. People want our stuff, and a good video goes out, gets 50 million views. You can't forecast for that.
What are you gonna do?
We're not complaining.
You could buy a lot of extra inventory.
It's tough. It's again, Cadillac problems. But what I do love about TikTok is it plays to our strengths. Like, it's not advertising, it's proving, which I love. I love the live aspects, to the point that we're making major bets on live. Like RhinoWorld has, we're building an 8,000 square foot live studio there. So we plan to do live video. I mean, I believe the future of e-commerce is in lives. As the AI content continues to get more unbelievable. I mean, I can't tell the difference anymore. I just don't trust anything I see. Yeah. And I think that's happening in society. Consumers are realizing most of the things they see are fake. And what's not fake is a live video where I'm showing you the product. I'm using it. I'm testing it. You could ask me questions and I could show you what you want to see. We're not hiding anything. my vision for, TikTok in the future and live selling is that RhinoWorld, we would be using these products out on the property, in the real world, like in the mud, hooking up the products. And we're looking at the camera, like, this is how you hook it up. This is the scenario you'd use it. And you can add this to your cart right now and buy it, right? Like, that's the ultimate live selling for us. And that's the vision. And that's really where we're going with RhinoWorld.
When can we start?
Buildings are going up right now. So, I mean, we expect by the end of the year, we'll have facilities. Q1 27, we'll be running lives. Field to cart, our team is coining that phrase. Field to cart. We're out in the field shooting content, showing you the products. You can add to your cart right here. So we're setting up Wi-Fi mesh networks across the 182 acres so we can go live and stream from anywhere on the property. All that tech is going into it too.
Okay, I really want to come build your 3PL like on site because I've owned a couple 3PLs and like it's also chaos, but it's so interesting and kinetic. And like, what if we had, this is a terrible idea, famously, but what if we had like an outdoor 3PL where it's literally field to cart and like someone packs the order and like it goes in the box and the tape is right there and it's just on the back of like a big truck and you've got like a mobile fulfillment operation and I don't know, 20 orders a day or 200 or some, it can't be that much, but like some number of orders per day actually literally get fulfilled from like the field fulfillment. And
I love it. That's a cool
okay,
idea.
coming in.
I mean,
I'll be in charge of the printers.
that's next level thinking. I was thinking we would do live selling, we're packing mystery boxes, we're shipping, but I didn't see it out in the field with a truck on the back. I mean, hey, I love it. I'm always game.
Ford, GMC.
You need to come out. We need to talk more about this. I like that idea.
I'm all in. We'll put a trailer on the back with backstock.
For sure.
And then we gotta film like the last order, like that, you're about to be sold out. And it's like, this is the very last one in the world, like the last Wonka ticket. It's just like, okay, we're going to be out for the next 2 weeks.
It happens every day. We never talk about it, but that's a good idea. Actually, that is a really good idea to talk about how inventory is running low because literally it happens every week.
Yeah. So, and how do you keep up with it now? Have you just kind of tried to overbuy or, the cash conversion cycle is obviously king here. So how do you make it so that you're not locking up inventory on the shelf, making you bet on something that might go viral versus like, non-stock enough of the thing that actually takes off?
Yeah, I think we're toying with a few different things there, but probably the best one that we've done is pre-buying a bunch of raw materials, getting ahead of the lead time and the manufacturing cycle. So, pre-buying and this year we did very well because we did feel like there was something brewing geopolitically. And so we did pre-buy polyester, nylon, and aluminum, which those commodities have gotten out of control with prices. So we bought a year's worth. So we protected ourselves for the entire year, pre-buying raw materials at a set rate. And so we get ahead of the manufacturing cycle, cut our lead time. That's probably the biggest way. We are keeping more inventory in our own warehouses. Fast to be able. It's cheaper for us to store it in our own warehouses. So anything long-term storage we keep in our warehouses. We keep a lot of our fast-moving. We call them A SKUs, obviously. We keep a lot of those overstocked in our own warehouse.
So cool. In addition to raw material prices going up, I mean, container prices this week are like almost 10 grand.
Yeah, we're back to that like COVID prices.
Right?
I remember the 25,000
prices. We had a product that was really small that we were selling in COVID, and we could fit like a couple 100,000 into a container. That was fun. But the bigger stuff was really tough. Like the box sets in COVID, it's $20,000 for a container. And we're like, that's the top selling, that's my A SKU. I'm like, I cannot be profitable on this right now. I have to out of stock it. There's no way.
All of our stuff is heavy. I mean, heavy metal products.
Right. That too. And sort of some of them I guess are bulky, but some of them are small. So you got some variability there.
Yeah. Sure.
Were your former businesses that you were involved in, or that you founded, were they product businesses too? Were they in the world of physical goods?
No,
Okay, so
no,
all of this, yeah, you guys are
brand
learning
new.
from scratch.
Yes. So I also the training that I told you, amazing selling machine.
Yeah,
I had found that training, and so I had by trade, honestly, I was a private investigator. So I had 5 private investigation offices around the Southwest, Vegas, San Francisco, Irvine, Phoenix, Colorado, Denver. So I private pilot. I would fly my airplane around to my 5 different offices. I had a pretty good business going. But it was always, again, I told you in the beginning of the conversation, we are family oriented. And it was always my dream that my boys would take over my business. And as they started getting older and I started seeing where they were at, they had no interest in investigations or security or access control and cameras and all that stuff. They just had no interest. They were wrenching on cars and
yeah,
riding motorcycles, and they were outdoor kids raised that way. They did not want to be in an office with a suit going to court to testify and things like that. So 2014, I found the training Amazing Selling Machine. I paid Jason Katzenbach and Matt Clark, two now all these years later. I consider those guys friends.
yeah,
We've had a lot of interactions, and they're amazing people. Um, but I went through the training, so I paid for the training, and all my friends were like, "What are you doing? You got this big
yeah,
business. Why are you doing that?" And I'm like, "I don't know why. Like, it's something about this Amazon thing and these products, and it may be I don't know. I didn't really know what I was doing. I did it. I launched a little brand called Block It. And we were doing, because I was in security, I was one of the first people to launch the RFID credit card and passport protection sleeves. It
yeah.
became a it became a silicone spatula, as you know.
Oh,
If you know, you know.
if you know, you know.
So
But it's a
yeah,
gift that
but
you've given the world, Ted. So it's okay.
it worked out. It worked out.
Worked out. It worked out. Okay, you kind of are interested in this Amazon thing based on some gut. You take a course that develops a little bit more conviction and gives you a little bit of education in it, and then you kind of got like, maybe the catalyst for feeling comfortable or confident enough to go into this space. There is so much about like brand operations that my personal experience was like I just felt so stupid all the time. I was learning everything from scratch and reading everything. There's so much more to read now than there was in 2014, 2012. And, I'd be
Yeah.
like, how do UPCs work? And what size were they supposed to be? And I remember going to the store and I bought like, I don't know, I have some chapstick here and I have some gum. I would buy like the tiniest things that I could find in the grocery store, like a pack of gum or Tic Tacs. And I'd be like, well, where do they put the barcode? It's like, that's got to be by definition the smallest that it's allowed to be. And, I was just kind of using the world to like, I was bumping against shelves literally to figure out
Right.
how it all worked. And my experience was very retail focused very early. So I was coming up against those kind of compliance rules and regulations. And of course, Amazon has like its own set of nuance. And I'm sure TikTok has like yet another set of
Sure.
rules. So how do you like, where do you go to learn these days? Or where did you go to learn at the time to figure out like ops stuff that could be a total win and make everything easy or like a $2,000 chargeback if you did it wrong?
Yeah. Well, we made all those same mistakes.
Oh,
So
oh
I mean, I,
shucks.
I remember it. That
I thought you were gonna give us like the easy way.
No, you're 100% right. We were all, I mean, it's actually fun to talk to somebody that understands those early problems. Now it's all easy. Just give it to ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or whoever you want, and all the answers are there. But back then, we were, we have a big sign in our office. I make sure the sign's in everybody's office. It says speed is greater than perfection. And so we moved fast. It was what I used to say, our only advantage is speed. All these people have more money than us. They have more knowledge than us. They have bigger businesses. They're smarter. They know what they're doing. All we have is speed. Fail fast, learn, fail fast and learn. We probably didn't make much money in the early days, to be honest. We were mislabeling things. Amazon was sending it back to us. We hired neighborhood kids, the friends of the family, to pack stuff, and they would forget labels, and it was a mess. And it was a mess. But we had some good things happening, but operations were a mess. And this is call it early 2018. In comes my brother Ray. So my brother Ray was a 20+ year veteran of Coca-Cola in Atlanta, which is a products company. He was in the IT side, but he really understood the operations and all the stuff that goes along with being compliant. We didn't have any of that. Like we were just a wild group, riding motorcycles through the office. And I mean, it was fun and wild, but we were making mistakes and losing money. So we recruited my brother, and that's really where things got serious. It's 2018. He's 11 years older than me.
I was going to say, is he your older brother?
He's my older brother. Yes. So yeah, I look mature, but I'm a kid. I like to play and have fun. So me and the boys were just having a lot of fun. My brother came in a bit more serious and said, "Hey guys, this thing actually has some legs. I mean, what you've built here is extremely interesting. And if we focus, we can actually build something here." So 2018, things got serious, and we really got down to business. We started developing systems and processes, and we started introducing legal, and we started to become a real business.
Thanks, Ray.
Yes, we say it every day. Thanks, Ray.
Thanks, Ray. Oh man, this has been awesome. I can't wait to come and check out RhinoWorld. I will take you up on what I hope was a sincere invitation.
For
but
sure.
In the meantime,
Absolutely.
I'm just a complete fan from the sidelines. It's really cool to see what you guys have built, and to see you running a family business and a business with heart at a time when it is so easy to see an alphabet soup brand just, taking it away, and then it gets hard and they disappear and they don't come back. And to see something that's sort of like durable and really building a brand in a space where brands, I think, have become a little bit cheapened. And I really admire that you are making that investment in your family and in your brand.
Thank you. Yeah, it's becoming harder every day as you grow and become bigger and bigger and more corporate. Keeping that family culture and that fun alive is my primary job these days. So I've introduced Nerf guns into the office. So now we little things like that, just walking around the office and shooting a Nerf gun at the employees. It just kind of lightens the mood and reminds people that life is short. You have to have fun every day. Don't take yourself too seriously. Business is a team sport. It's meant to be fun. Let's have some fun here and build something fun. So that's kind of, we're keeping that alive.
Oh, man, I love it. Let's build something fun. All right. Well, thanks again for taking the time. The best stories. And I can't wait to see where you take it next.
The invitation was serious. Come out to RhinoWorld. We'd love to host you.
I'll be there with packing boxes and tape.
Bring it out. Love it.
Printer. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you, Samantha. Cheers.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Commerce is Chaos. If you're listening, I have a feeling you know just how much good leaving a 5-star review can do for a team. Drop us a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to Commerce is Chaos wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to our Substack, also called Commerce is Chaos, for more good stuff and actionable tools to build your business.